Anytime you want, Alondra. Anytime. I mean, we're here for you, Alondra.
That's not true. I'm here for you. All right.
Hold on. I will. There's even an intro song and everything to this thing. I've done this will be episode
I saw it.
like 100 and some. How many episodes have I done, Alondra?
This is 88, but I don't know if that's like.
Segments and
No, this is not episode 88.
Well, when I looked, it said.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
It's that thing I sent you. It's episode 120. I texted it to you on your cell phone.
now we're mansplaining.
Oh, I didn't. That's because I didn't text it to you. Now I'm definitely mansplaining.
Yeah, I get mansplained to me.
So it is actually episode 126. I mean, that's close to 80 something. It doesn't really seem like it's streaming anyway. I'm clicking the stream. Is it still on? I believe you. There it is. There it is. There it is. There we are. All right. Let me do one thing while she's fixing that.
No.
My mistake. It's a little lag, by the way. I'm gonna try to share this, and then we're gonna be all business at that point.
Okay.
Casey's like, I wrote a book and I have to suffer this.
Happy to do it. This was actually my whole plan.
What's that?
Write the book. Get on local radio. Yeah.
Hey, I am one of the first. Aren't I one of the first media outlets to let you come on live?
Absolutely.
I mean, there was magazines.
Yeah, but especially for this book, I was on a couple podcasts in Los Angeles, I guess, but that's when I was out there.
I mean, Los Angeles.
And that was
I mean,
who cares about that?
I'm actually. So I came really close to being an attorney out in Los Angeles.
Really?
We can talk about that if you want to. I got offered a attorney job out there, and the funny thing was, it was like a dream job, criminal defense out there, a very sexy firm, and it was more money than I'd ever seen. However, what I didn't understand when I went out there was the cost of living. I would have not been in Los Angeles, although I was assured that later, over time, I would be that Beverly Hills. And so I was like, no, I don't want to live out like in the sticks.
Koreatown?
Yeah.
I don't know. The food's pretty good in Koreatown.
I think in Koreatown's like in a pretty good spot. I got a good Los Angeles story if you want to get into some Larry David.
So they do a lot of crime. They do a lot of crime.
Crime is their specialty.
I feel like you have an experience in Los Angeles that you want to share with us.
You got a cousin in Koreatown. You got a lot of crime. You know a lot about.
Whoa! F-bomb live!
My mic is off.
All right, so let's go on and start this. YouTube, we're about to start the show. I've got Casey O'Banion in the house. You may know him as CEO O'Banion, local author of the Chinese New Year. And then second segment, we're going to have Kelli from LaFSA. For some reason, I just go Lion King with that. LaFSA, they are doing a denim runway event. Denim, dude.
Not Denim Springs.
All my life, no. All my life, I've wanted a Canadian tuxedo. That's all I've wanted. Denim on denim. And I'm thinking you may see Franzi in a denim tuxedo, maybe even a denim shirt. I do own a denim shirt. So this may happen. You ready, Alondra? Let's do this.
Yeah. Can I talk right now?
Yeah, you can. But
the next book's about. There we go.
welcome to another episode of the Geaux Rouge radio show. If you're listening on the radio or watching on YouTube live, welcome. You know, we're not live on the radio this week because, well, there's some sporting event tonight, like, I don't know, LSU baseball or something. But if you've been wondering where we've been for the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, I took a break. I just needed a break. This whole doing radio, doing national legal commentary, doing law practice. It was a bit much for me. And I'm a dad, and I've got like a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I just took a break. So we're back, though. We got back for episode 126. We got a great show scheduled for today. First half, we're going to be having a local writer come in and talk about a newly published book. And then in our second half, we're going to have the folks from LaFSA in talking about something I'm super excited about, a denim runway show. And I'm super excited about it, ego, narcissism, because I am one of the models, which may tell you a little bit, guys, about how desperate they are for no, I kid. This is a great fundraising event for LaFSA. It's an organization, a foundation that fights sexual assault. So we're going to have Kelli Knight in on the second half. But before we do all that, let's do a couple of things first, just for housekeeping. Alondra right now is our producer. She's on Master Controls. Alondra, hi. Hi. You don't have to say anything, Alondra. You're good. And then if you want to get more information about the Geaux Rouge show, you want to watch past episodes on demand, you can go to www.geauxrouge.com. We spell go, the cheesy way, the Geaux way. GeauxRouge.com for past episodes. And look, guys, if you have a show idea or you have a topic or a guest that you want me to have on the show, simply email me at info@geauxrouge.com. I'll screen them to make sure they're not an axe murderer. And once I do that screening, they're going to come on the show. So look, before we jump in, we're going to thank our show sponsor. Our show sponsor for the Geaux Rouge show, surprisingly enough, Alondra, is the Borkart Law Firm. That is my day job. They are making the Borkart Law Firm goodly enough to let me do this, goodly enough to pay for this train wreck. So Borkart Law Firm, www.borkartlawfirm.com. You can find us on social media, primarily a criminal defense law firm. But give us a call if you need anything, and we will help you out. But without further ado, Baton Rouge has produced, and Louisiana for that matter, has produced some really good writers. And we have some really good local talent. And it's sometimes from places you wouldn't expect. Like, for example, a lawyer who writes a book that has nothing to do with law, right? So we have author C.E. O'Banion, goes by Casey. So C.E. O'Banion, writer and published a book recently called The Chinese New Year. He's live in studio right now. Casey, what's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me. Thanks to the Borkart Law Firm, I guess.
I know. So Casey, when you commit federal crime, you know where to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Casey, you've got a very interesting story, man. So you went to undergraduate at LSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into this whole writing thing?
So first, I'm from Texas. I'm from Texarkana, a small town. Half's in Texas, the other half's in Arkansas. I'm from the Texas side. Came down to LSU. I have 4 siblings. We joke every now and then, or not. It's a quiet joke, I guess. But oldest sister went to Notre Dame. Other 2 sisters went to UT. Brother and I went to LSU. So make of that what you will.
You had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you had a lot of fun, didn't you?
A lot of fun. And so I came down to LSU as a creative writing, or I was a landscape architecture major for 2 days. That lasted about 2 days. I missed both classes. Looked around at what else I could major in. Decided in creative writing. Didn't want to do the literature side. A lot of reading. So went with creative writing. Worked under a lot of great people. Gene Leiby, Jim Wilcox, a lot of great people in the LSU creative writing world. As you mentioned, a lot of great writers come out of Louisiana. So was publishing a couple of short stories then. Got one in the Southern Review. A couple of things. Online journals had not necessarily taken off in 2011.
Well, let's not gloss over. Getting something published in the Southern Review is
it was
not a small measure, man.
It was a Gene Leiby was my professor at the time in one of my capstone courses, and also the editor of the Southern Review. And so I was kind of working for her a little bit at the time. She helped me craft an essay that ended up in the online version of the Southern Review, which I'm not even sure they have anymore. But it was a great moment for me. She passed away when I was in law school. And so when I was in law school and had heard of her passing, I was, I think, a 2L. Things weren't going swimmingly, I would say.
Let's back up. Not to interrupt you, but let's go back. So you get a degree in creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
You'd gotten published. Did you go straight away into law school, or did you go do something else first?
Straight away. I always tell people, the first day of law school, I showed up fresh out of LSU creative writing. There were some people there that looked like they were in their 30s. I'm a late birthday, so I think 21
Oh,
when I started. There were some people there that looked like they were in their 30s. And the first day they got there at 8, they left at 5. I was getting there for my classes about 5 minutes before, if not 5 minutes late, leaving right after. And I told probably my mom or somebody who I'm sure was judging me on the other end, man, I don't know what these people are, why are they studying so hard? Looking back on it, they were they were seasoned veterans of full-time jobs, and they were going back for a specific reason, which will come up later.
so
in my
no,
story.
for the record, I teach one class at the LSU Law Center, the flagship university, the LSU Law Center. I teach a class in criminal law, and my students, just talking about your age, one of the students the other day said, "Hey, my dad's your age," and they're like in their mid-20s, and I was like, "Oh, why does just kick me in you know?"
Yeah.
Anyways, so okay, so you're at law school, you're doing the law school thing.
I'm coasting ish through law school. It's tough.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, and so I get done with law school. We moved to Texas. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, had moved to Houston for a position in marketing out there. I have a sister that lives in Houston who had at the time I think 3 kids. Now she has 7. So our visits became less and less while we were out there. But moved to Houston. Worked in oil and gas for a cool 6 months before I decided that my mom was an English teacher. I had a sister that was an English teacher. I just really wanted to get into it, and so I worked for a year at South Houston High School, a urban 5A 1 to 2,000 kids a grade school, learning kind of the tricks of the trade, so to speak, in Houston, Texas. Before my wife and we got engaged, decided to move back. We wanted to move somewhere where we had friends, but she's from Shreveport. We weren't moving there. I'm from Texarkana. That wasn't an option either. So we were looking around somewhere to move. We had New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Atlanta, a couple different places on our radar. And Baton Rouge was just somewhere where we'd always felt at home. It's where we met.
So she's an LSU grad as well?
She's an LSU grad as well. And so we decided to move back, got married in 2016, and I started working at Catholic High. I was teaching there for 3 or 4 years.
I love this trajectory.
Yeah.
Creative writing, law school, which, by the way, if you've ever gone to law school and you're like thinking from the outside looking in, like, why would you go to law school and not be a lawyer? I assure you, there's lots of reasons to go to law school and then not want to be a lawyer. So then oil and gas, and then teaching at my alma mater, Catholic High School.
Yeah.
You were teaching what?
So I started out teaching Western Civ seniors, and then I moved on to English, which obviously, that was my major. That's what I was interested in. Yeah. Around that time, I want to say about 2017, 2018, I got a publishing contract on the book that is now in front of us at a very small indie press outside of Lafayette. And then somewhere around 2019, they moved to Austin, Texas. And somewhere around 2020, when the pandemic hit, they went under. Okay. And so I was left without a publishing contract. I was I was not a published novelist at that point. And so getting a second one felt a little daunting. But after a couple of different, I would say, ventures around the internet, I found a couple of people that were willing to help me out. And I started an MFA program at the University of Southern California and through Antioch University in Los Angeles, which helped me kind of refine the book at where it was then, which was a completed book. It was about 280 pages, and the book in front of you now is about 200.
So, California, getting a degree in writing.
Master's in Fine Arts, creative writing.
Right. Finished the book. What was LA like?
LA was great. I was remote. It's called a, there's a word for it, but it's kind of quasi-remote. So I would go out there, every now and then. My longest stint was just a few weeks, actually this past December for my graduation. But it was fantastic. The schools, Antioch University is a small literary liberal arts university, and it was a fantastic community of people, of writers. I had at some point, obviously teaching at Catholic High at an all-boys school, it was an experience that harkens a little bit to Dead Poet Society in some ways, lends itself well to that. And at some point in the process, I had a friend that was in the program with me. She was an older woman, and she was also from the South, so she took to me pretty quickly in LA. And she said to me one day, she said, I gave your manuscript to my husband and he loved it. And I said, oh, great, happy to hear that. And
which is something you really are happy to hear.
Oh, yeah. And a couple weeks went by. She said it again, oh, my husband loved it. And I said, thanks. I'm not entirely sure why this is such a big deal. And then I Googled her and her husband, his name's Tom Schulman. He wrote Dead Poets Society. He wrote Dead Poets Society. He wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, directed Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag. And so that was an incredible moment for me. I called her and I said, I Googled you. Sorry. And I said, but I think you should know, what an impact that movie had on me.
Right.
That, and then when I was out there in LA, I got a chance to go by their house and kind of meet him. And I, up there in the Palisades, which I had to learn what that was in LA, which we were talking earlier, passing a house, I said, I was like, oh, these houses look familiar. They look nice and, familiar, I guess. And she said, well, that's the Curb house. And I said, oh, I like Curb. And she said, would you want to meet Larry? And I'm one of those people that I think who I guess wouldn't want to meet Larry David, but at the same time,
I would be so intimidated to meet Larry David.
I told them, I said, I think that all I would be able to really tell him is, hey, I like the show. And they said, well, that he would love to hear that you didn't want to meet him. And I said, I think that you're stretching that a little bit. But she did say they play golf every Saturday, a little group of them, not to dox or anybody, Larry David, but they play golf every Saturday. And she said, if you play golf, you should come out. And I had to turn him down. I think my dad one of his disappointments in me is that I'm not a golfer.
You had an opportunity to meet Larry David at least once, if not twice.
I told him, I said, give me a year. Give me a year to get out there. I will train on the greens, and I will get back out here. I got back. My wife took a picture of me in our backyard playing golf with some little wiffle balls one afternoon, and that was embarrassing enough to stop. So
okay, tangent, but relevant. I've watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I've never researched him as a human being other than I know who he is, right? I know why he's culturally significant. But I've always wondered, is he like that in real life? Is he really George Costanza in real life? Or is that just a amplified, like ridiculous, so
I have no idea.
you never met him.
Well, that was my fear. My fear was that I meet him and I say, nice to meet you. I'm such and such, from Baton Rouge. Love the show. And, how many times has he heard that?
Right.
And I don't even actually watch Curb, so I wouldn't have a ton to say to him. So, I like Seinfeld, love Seinfeld.
And yet he refers to Curb Your Enthusiasm, folks, as Curb.
Curb.
All right, so you're out in L.A., you get the book polished up, you get it refined.
Mm-hmm.
My word, not yours.
Mm-hmm.
What then?
I find a publisher, TBP Press, out of Houston, that is interested in the book. Around the same time, a local university in Louisiana was interested in the book as well. That one was going to come out. If I went with them with the university press, it was going to come out in 2025. I told them, I was honored and thanked them, but I didn't know, will I be alive in 2025? There's a couple pandemics coming, who knows? So I had to go with what I thought was the quicker option, which turned out to be the quicker option. And I'm thankful. I was very happy with the process. And Dino Price is the head editor there at this press and did a great job and helped me kind of lead me through the path of this publishing process that I had somewhat bungled before.
Well, you didn't, hold on. You didn't bungle it.
I mean,
and I care about you, so I am, but you didn't bungle it. The publishing company kind of went under.
But there was some bungling that I hadn't gotten to yet. So that's what's been going on.
So we've got about 4 minutes.
Okay.
I feel like I don't want you to not promote this book while you're on here. You wrote this book called Chinese New Year. Mm-hmm. Casey, tell us about the book a little bit.
Okay. So after Catholic High, which was I left in 2019, I started working for a nursing home company.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Why would I not? And so I started working for a nursing home company. My dad is a doctor, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I thought,
a word doctor.
Yeah, this seems like something I could get into. I think a Juris Doctor.
Yes,
I guess, but I think this is something I could get into, and so I started. The next couple months couple months or so later, the pandemic hits. And so at that point in my life, I am kind of surrounded by this less than desirable, I think, place. And I'm trying to make things better daily, but it was a tough situation, I think, as everyone can attest to. And so the book at the time really revolved around my experience in Baton Rouge. The book takes place in Baton Rouge.
Set in Baton Rouge.
It is set in Baton Rouge. It's set in the Garden District. He lives on South Eugene, which is where I lived at the time. He goes to Zippy's a good bit.
Do you refer to it as Zippy's in the book?
I do. As Zippy's.
You should be loving that.
I got Zippy's. I got their permission. I got Zippy's permission. I got Tailoring by 10, which is the tailor that I go to now on Perkins. I live on Hood or off Hood. And so I go right there to Tailoring by 10, and they're in there a couple different places. LSU makes a few appearances. And so it was one of those, it was about my experience in Baton Rouge, really. It's set in the future, about 50 years in the future.
Do you have flying cars in there?
No flying cars, but there are, as I was just explaining to your son, there is, the main character has a hearing aid that is kind of Siri enabled.
Okay.
So he kind of talks to this person a bit. So when I started working at the nursing home, the book transformed a little bit into, instead of my experience, it became the experiences that I was seeing quite a bit. And there's now a retirement home in the book. And you mentioned, the cover looking a little Confederacy of Dunces-ish. The retirement home is St. Ignatius.
Okay.
Retirement home, not a nursing home.
Irony.
That's a major point of theirs. Not a nursing home, a retirement home.
Okay.
And so it follows this character, Alton Tapscott, who one of my good friends has a little gambling ring that his mysterious coworker, Alton Booth, always wins, which we are convinced that it's him. And so I have a good friend, Tapscott, who most of my creative juices flow through. I take a lot from him. And so changed the name after a recommendation from the publisher. And I've been enjoying it. It's been a good, I think in LA, a lot of people are learning about Baton Rouge. A lot of people are interested in Baton Rouge. They know about New Orleans, obviously, but they love the stories coming out of Baton Rouge that I've been telling. So.
Well, this is Chinese New Year. We've got author C.E. O'Banion, or I call him Casey. Casey, if I wanted to get this book, where would I go to get it?
It's a great question. You can get it on Amazon. It's doing well in my mother's age bracket on Amazon right now. Barnes & Noble, I'll have a reading next week on the 29th, April 29th at noon at the Barnes & Noble in City Place. You can get it there. I'll have copies there. If you see me around town, you can get it. And it will be in some local bookstores soon, Red Stick Reads, Second and Charles, and a few others.
Well, Casey, we appreciate you coming on. Again, that's Chinese New Year, Alondra. Chinese New Year. You were just the person I was looking at. I could have said Kelly Knight if you were. Anyways, we're going to take our break. We've had author, lawyer, scholar, funeral home. No. We've had Casey O'Banion in the house, Chinese New Year. We'll be back with LaFSA and a little denim runway action. When you get back, we'll be back with our second segment of the Geaux Rouge Show. We'll be back. Is it okay? It's whatever you want, whatever bump you want. I got to tell you, my closing, though, is horrible. I'm never good at closing. Like, intro, I can do the intro, but I'm never the guy that's closing right. So, I'm not.
Bronze, appreciate you, brother. Down towards, like the really rich end of Hood. I'm on the other end. I'm near Hyacinth.
I like Diamonds and Pearls. I do love This Is What It Cries Like. I like This Is What It Sounds Like When the Doves Cry. I like not Purple Rain then. So the Legally Served soundtrack, it's a Batman Prince song. Party Man. You pick the Prince song.
Bronze, I'll sign this for you and just leave it right here.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to. I also don't mind. But you have a Sharpie? I need a Sharpie signature. I don't want a pen signature.
Do y'all have a Sharpie in here?
Alondra, do you have a Sharpie?
If you don't, I'll see you again.
Well, I'll go to the Barnes & Noble and buy it. That gives me an opportunity to buy some more stuff from you.
Perfect. All right.
I had CEO Banyan on before he was CEO Banyan. I get it. I didn't want to go into the Brack thing just because I didn't know how Adam and all them would. They've been on the show before, but I mean, we're here to talk about this. Not,
Russell was like, "You should go on Haldane soon and talk about the book." And
Sure.
I was like, I feel like I need like a media training with Adam to see like what I can say about Brack and the book at the same time.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no."
How many people from Brack have bought the book yet? Brack.
I think most of them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's love,
But I haven't been.
dude. Listen. Before we start the second segment, let me say this, guys. I have never written a book before. I'm hesitant to say that I tried to do that. It is a labor of love, and the fact that you have created that and put that out in the universe. Chinese New Year. It is easily found on Amazon. I'm still promoting it. Easily found on Amazon. It's very reasonably priced too. So, but you can also get a copy, guys, if you're watching on YouTube Live right now. This is not on the radio, but it's on YouTube Live. You can also get a copy this coming Saturday at Barnes & Noble. I'll post that stuff on the Geaux Rouge page. Casey, have a good one, man. Kelly, step into the office, Kelly. All right, you're good. So this is what it looks like. So
Okay.
you're good. You're good. She'll do a bump. I'll do the intro, and then we're just talking LaFSA. See how easy that is? See how easy. All right, we're back to the second half of Geaux Rouge Radio Show. This is host Franz Borkhardt, jamming to some Prince. When we record the show today, this is the anniversary of Prince's death. Died too young. We lost Prince too young. You know, sometimes when you lose an artist too young, like I'm not a country singer or fan, but Keith Whitley, rock, Prince. You wonder what would they have created in their remaining time? So yes, Alondra, who's on Master Controls right now, said we had to bump it up with some Prince. So good call, Alondra. Good call.
Absolutely.
So second half of the Geaux Rouge Radio Show. First half we had author Casey O'Banion, writer, not publisher, writer of the book Chinese New Year, local guy. I like it when we have local writers on. That's just cool. I think it's cool that we're as a community producing something other than gunshots and drag racing. But I digress. Second half of the show, we got Kelli Knight in from LaFSA. It's a foundation that supports the fight against sexual assault. So we're going to get to her in a second. We have a Denim runway event coming up. I'm a model, Alondra. I'm a model in this Denim runway. Like, she's not even, like, Alondra's not even dignifying that with a statement. I mean, are you shocked, ladies and gentlemen, that if there was a Denim runway event, that I might be one of the models in the Denim runway event? But we're going to get to that right in a second. Look, guys, if you want to get more information on the Geaux Rouge show, go to www.geauxrouge.com. I've been told I could just say geauxrouge.com and that would suffice. Geauxrouge.com. And then if you want to drop an email to me at info@geauxrouge.com, I will consider any suggestions for show topics, guests. Always excited to have folks on. So, last thing, the show sponsor, Alondra, the featured show sponsor of the Geaux Rouge show is the Borkhardt Law Firm. I can't even say that with a straight face. The Borkhardt Law Firm is my law firm, my little criminal defense firm, practicing criminal defense, federal and state and municipal throughout the state of Louisiana, federal, state, and municipal. Go to www.borkhardtlawfirm.com. I don't even have to say www anymore. I just want to say www. So, anyways, without further ado, Kelli, what's going on?
Not much.
So-
not right now, but next week we're going to have a lot coming on.
You, Kelli, are with an organization called LaFSA. What is LaFSA?
LaFSA is the Louisiana Foundation Against Sexual Assault. We are the umbrella coalition that works statewide with 11 different crisis centers. We make sure they have all the funding necessary, all the education necessary, and all the resources so that they can provide free services to survivors.
So you guys support organizations like STAR,
Absolutely.
which we've had on the show before. I was a hunk and heel with
Yeah,
STAR back
yeah.
when we were doing hunks and heels. So LaFSA, great organization, great
hmm
foundation. What do you do with them? What is your role?
So I'm the outreach coordinator,
Okay.
and it's my job to make sure that people around the state know that there are free services available to them. And we provide some direct services. We have an attorney on staff full time, Sean Cassidy.
I know Sean.
Yeah, and he does nothing but work with survivors. And then we have what I think I'm so very proud of is a text and chat based helpline that is statewide.
Mm-hmm.
We are one of only 4 states in the entire country that has an entirely text and chat based hotline for the state. Other areas might be localized, but anybody, it's great to have just one number no matter where you are.
So the number one question I get asked by sexual assault victims when I get called by them is, what resources are there out there? And so it is wonderful to be able to say, you need to call these guys, or
Yeah.
you need to go do this, because it runs the gambit, right? There's
Absolutely.
law enforcement assistance, there's
Absolutely.
advocacy assistance, there's, hey, I just went through some serious trauma, I need me assistance. So it does run the gambit, doesn't it?
It really does.
So how long have y'all been doing that?
So, FALSA has been in existence since the late 80s. Started out in Hammond, moved to Baton Rouge not that long ago, maybe 10 years ago, something like that, maybe a little longer. I've been with LaFSA since 2018. So,
So you and I met
mhm,
pre-pandemic, which is a
yes.
great segue into what I really want to talk to you about. When we met pre-pandemic, you and I were a part of an event that was a denim showcase event
Yes.
that was going to help raise money
Right.
for the cause, right? So first question is, why denim? What was it about denim?
So Denim Day it's an international movement that started in 1999. What happened was there was a survivor who uh, went ahead and reported. It takes place in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
She everything went through, and her perpetrator was actually convicted.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, well, until he decided to appeal,
Okay.
and the Italian Supreme Court said, "Hey, she was wearing jeans. Jeans are really hard to get off. They're very tight. So we really think that she was complicit. This wasn't a rape case. We're overturning."
I'm sorry.
Yes. That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the significance of denim then.
And
So
yeah. And so what happened was the next day, all the women in Parliament were as incensed as anybody listening to this story might have been. And they all came wearing denim to show support, and hence Denim Day.
okay, so Denim Day here is an opportunity to get awareness, right?
Yes.
We have a denim runway event happening. At the time this plays, it'll be next week. Tell me a little bit about the event. When is it? Where is it?
So Denim Day is something we started doing every year. It's our annual event. It's growing every single year. This year it's going to be at the Executive Center, which is right off of Government and South Foster. It's our event to just celebrate the good things that have happened, because we don't always get to do that. So we celebrate the good things. We give awards to the people, 5 categories of people that just give their all in helping support survivors. And then we have now we're having this amazing runway show. And we are so excited that Franz agreed to be one of our models.
So there's never, Alondra has been very quiet, which is probably for the best. There's seldom an opportunity to be extra that I pass up, Kelli. So the event is super cool, because what we are modeling are denim jackets, right?
Yes.
Denim art, because
Yes.
you've gotten artists to
Yeah.
create artistic creations from the denim, right? So they're I don't want to say bedazzled, but kind
Yeah.
of. I mean,
Absolutely. They're whatever. And this is just another way that we work with the community because we try to find local artists. And we actually have 2 jackets that we partnered with Baton Rouge Community College.
Cool.
And they had 2 of their art students to paint jackets for us, which I'm very excited about. And so we hope that that might expand as well. But then it's just a great way for artists to showcase their talents and skills and be supportive.
so
And
you have the community buy in that
Right.
way. We'll be modeling these, and then they will be auctioned off at a later time.
Right.
Okay, so walk me through that.
well, so the auction actually is going to start on Monday morning with the jackets.
Oh,
And so we have it a couple of days in advance just so
Oh,
people can kind of get a
wow.
look at the jackets. And then during the event, as Franz will be modeling
one of
his
the models,
jacket.
one of the 5
One of 5 models. We're
models.
so excited because the models really are.
Heidi Klum was not available.
That's right. But we do have Miss Slidell.
Oh,
We have Lily Gale, Miss
So
Slidell.
that's what I wanted to hear. Miss Slidell is going to be modeling some jackets along with Franz Borchardt. So okay, so the when is the final day for the auction?
And so the auction goes until Saturday.
Oh, so you'll be able to
So
actually see what your
it's you can actually we'll have little QR codes so you can scan in and
I gotta
have a live bid going on.
I gotta tell you, if I find the right jacket and I find it that it fits, so I'm between. We were talking about this before the show started, Alondra. I'm between an extra large and a double X, but with my denim jackets, I kind of like it to I want to be able to wear it,
Yeah,
comfortably,
yeah.
and so if I find one that's got all the right moves and all the right stuff, I mean, I may have to jump into the fray for this.
I think they're going to be amazing.
How much money are y'all trying to raise off this?
Well, as much as possible.
Right,
We,
well, right. I mean, do you have a goal? I mean,
we hope that the jackets bring in somewhere around a couple $1,000s. I would be happy with that.
oh, you're selling yourself short, just
I mean,
like per jacket or total?
no, total.
Oh no, ma'am. Franz Borchardt can't let this stand.
But I mean, it is the community.
I get
and
it. I get it. I
we
get it.
can. I think that each jacket probably is worth God, $1,000 a piece myself
Right.
because it's just
So I am
the meaning of them.
you may not know this, Kelly, but I am a very sentimental human being, and I collect certain things. I'm big into octopuses and octopus art. I'm big into,
You said octopuses. Most people don't know
is-
it is actually octopuses.
well, I mean, a true octopus lover would. So,
Right.
so in my office, for example, I have paintings, different artists, in Baton Rouge, and then my son, who you met today, Fisher, who is 7, he will do art for me, and I have 2 framed octopuses that Fisher made. And I got to be real honest with you, which paintings do you think are more valuable to me?
Absolutely.
Right. So to me, if you see something that connects to you, that you can identify with, or that like speaks to you, sister, you're gonna get thousands of dollars in that jacket. So excited. So if I need to get ticket to this awesome event, where can I get tickets?
So go to denimdayla.org.
LA.org. denimdayla.org.
Pre-sales are cheaper than at the door.
What's the ticket go for?
The tickets are $28.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. We keep the ticket prices low because we want to be as inclusive as possible so that as many people can join us. We want to make anybody feel like, they're not able to participate. So that's why we keep the ticket prices low.
So if Alondra were to go and get
Mhm.
a ticket and attend, is there going to be, besides the entertainment, besides the community presence, is there going to be food there?
Food. Mestizo.
Mestizos.
Mestizo is doing our food. And you don't just get food, you also get wine
Okay,
and
good.
drinks. That all comes with the price of the ticket.
Cool. And this is, again, Wednesday.
April 26th,
Super excited about
6
this.
to 9.
You've got me. I'll be honest, guys. And Alondra saw my face, when she suggested there may not be a jacket that would fit me, Alondra, I was a little I was in my feelings a little bit. I was in my feelings. But now I'm like, man, how many total jackets are you going to have? 10. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the goal is to make this bigger, bigger, and bigger, right?
Right.
So
absolutely.
pre-pandemic, just so the
Yeah.
audience knows, you had how many models? I mean, it was
Yeah, pre-pandemic, I think we had 15 models.
15. It was a
We were gonna have like a big runway with a fashion show
kind
and
of best dressed ball meets Denim
yes,
and LaFSA.
exactly.
And the pandemic
And
came and that kind of
literally, like I think 2 weeks before we were
Right.
supposed to have this, everything shut down.
But you know what? Things happen for a reason.
Mhm.
And so I think it's good, and I think that you're gonna have a blast. I'm gonna have a blast.
I think
Um,
you will have a blast.
I
think you're gonna be in your element.
So help me out. Who are some of the other? I know Megan's one of the other models. Who are the models you have?
So we have Megan H. Kelly,
Yes.
mompreneur. She's amazing and a survivor herself
Okay.
of domestic violence. And so we have.
Well, that's a good point. Let's just interrupt you. Sexual assault, we're including in that domestic violence, right? Okay.
And we have Dr. Ronnie, the hip hop doc.
Okay.
So
I'm familiar.
he's. I hope that he's gonna kind of maybe do some tunes or something.
Okay.
And we have Justin Martin, who is one of our
Justin.
board members,
Okay.
and then Miss Flydell, Lily
This,
Gill.
this doesn't feel fair. Like, I want to be the diva at the event. What is that birthday party, Alondra? Quinceañera?
Yes.
Yes, I want to be the birthday girl at this event. And now Miss Flydell is like elbowing in. Is that like a
She is so meek. I think that
I've met
yeah.
few beauty pageant winners, queens, Miss
Yeah.
whatevers. They're always just genuine. We had Miss Louisiana and Miss Louisiana Teen on. And they could not be nicer human beings.
she met Dr. Ida. She was doing some volunteer work rebuilding the community, and we just started talking. She was at the time Miss Southeastern.
Okay.
My daughter's name is Lily. Her name is Lily. And that's how we got to talking, and she just struck me as somebody who was so genuine and wanting to help. And so that's why I reached out to her. I didn't even know she was Miss Slidell.
So the other part of this is I would challenge people, because some people have not been exposed to this, right? They've not been exposed to sexual assault, domestic violence. They're not
At
survivors.
least they don't think they have.
Well,
been.
right. That's what I was just about to get to. Is you might be surprised
Right.
what fits that definition, and also you may know somebody that is quiet about the fact that they've gone through some stuff,
Absolutely.
and now I do want you to explain a little bit, Alondra. I know we have enough time to go into this. We use the word survivor. We don't say victim, right?
Right.
So why? Why is that?
It's because after an event, a traumatic event like this, you gain your own power back.
Right.
And
Right.
so we want to honor that and support that.
Okay. Because I'm in the criminal justice system, generally on the other side of this. Although I do represent, I think I told you I represent some victims advocacy, survivor advocacy, individuals from STAR. Occasionally they'll need somebody to just walk them through the criminal process, and it's fun because people ask me all the time, like, you're a criminal defense attorney, what are you doing representing that kind of a person? I'm like, well, if they're not my client, I there's no reason not to represent that person. And so
Yeah.
I'm excited. Denim Day. Is it a denim carpet?
We're going to have a denim carpet.
Oh my goodness. You're gonna have
Yes, we do. You're going to walk the denim carpet as you enter
Are
the
you a fan?
event.
Are you a fan of denim, Alondra? Are you a fan of denim?
I love denim. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
huge denim gal.
So
I
I'll
love
make
denim.
you a deal, Alondra.
Oh gosh.
You're not obligated to go, but if you want to go, I will make sure you have a ticket.
Thank you, Franz.
This is a great event.
I might
Di-
take you up on that offer.
You should, and preferably sooner rather than later, because they're cheaper tickets if I buy it sooner rather than later. But so surprisingly enough, I'm wearing blue jeans right now because
Yeah,
we
I
talked
see
about
it.
it. And Alondra has seen me in blue jeans. But I went to Catholic high school, and for a long time,
St. Joseph's. Yeah.
so for a long time after Catholic high, I just couldn't get comfortable in denim. I just didn't do it. And it's more recent for me. And so the fact that someone I care about was like, wait, you're doing a denim runway thing? Like, what does that look like? We see you in suits. We don't see you in like Like, you're wearing a denim? Like, what are you
Right.
doing? And I'm like, you got to step outside the box every once in a while.
That's it.
But I'm excited because, look, this is a good event. This is a good event that's going to help out a whole bunch of people.
Mhm.
And I say people because it's men and women. It's not
Absolutely.
right. Um, I have actually represented some individuals that are unconventional, quote unquote, survivors in the sense that not people you think they would be.
Right.
And those are people that need to be advocated for as well. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about getting to shake my stuff on a runway next to Miss Slidell. I am looking forward to this event. One more time, where do I get the tickets from?
You go to denimdayla.org.
Well, denimdayla.org. Please get your tickets. If you're listening to this on the weekend or watching on YouTube, please get your tickets. Goes to a great cause. There's going to be mestizos food there. There's going to be some. I mean, I would go just to watch me model. I mean, because I got to think about how am I going to do the runway? Am I going to like go like total Zoolander or I got to figure out my
Blue Steel.
Blue Steel Magnum. So that's Kelli. Thank you for coming on. And by the way, Kelli
Absolutely.
came on at the last minute too. So that was a big favor for me.
Yeah.
So guys,
Glad to be here.
Kelli, we will be deniming on Wednesday, Denim Runway. That's about it for this episode of the Geaux Rouge Radio Show. It is great to be back in the saddle. Next week, we're going to have some new stuff lined up. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Enjoy some LSU baseball. Enjoy some great stuff that's going on. This is your host, Franz Borkhardt, telling you goodbye, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Now she'll turn it off.